I've never felt pressure like I felt on the evening before the runway debate, where I felt I was carrying the future of 2,000 people on my shoulders. And if I mucked it up, it would have had disastrous consequences for this island.
Mm.
As it was, we actually won the debate, and we won it 28 10, which was a significant victory because we had to get that bit of the amendment through. And I don't want to talk about boring politics.
No, dude, you're giving me goosebumps
Mm,
here,
mm.
man. It feels. I'm just very, very grateful. There's always this quote that I love. It's the man in the arena. I don't know if you've ever heard it. It's a wonderful poem, but it talks about the person in the arena, the person that is doing the fight, taking the risks, and the people on the sideline can say whatever they want, but they're not the man in the arena. And whoever puts themselves to represent Alderney
Mm.
on an island like Guernsey, where people may not know about us. I'm just grateful that you're out there and that you're representing. And I know as well that it takes up all of your time. And I
Well, it
know that
doesn't take us. I also am a musician. People don't realize. I mean, I get
you have
roped
to find
in.
some other outlet to
Yeah.
to put in.
Mm. And I'm very fond. I mean, I find like every morning I wake up and I get out of bed and I go downstairs and I spend an hour with Johann Sebastian Bach, who's my sort of secret boyfriend.
Wow, take it back.
And I find that helps me channel because he's a very complex composer and it's very mathematical and very logical. And I find that's a very good way of channeling your thoughts. I often find I make the best presentations or the best sort of, well, I'm in the more of a listening mood, having sort of done that in them. Well, not always, 'cause sometimes it depends what you've been doing the night before. Um, but in general, I find classical music. I mean, I write even for the Guernsey Press classical reviews, and I was trained, so and that's one thing I did when we were here in isolation. I did the Royal Academy Music diploma for the piano, and where you had to do basically from the 12th century right to 1960 of classical composers, three a month, and it was voluntary, but it was a fantastic thing for the brain. And I think one of the things that you have to be careful, and this is a warning to anyone who thinks that life in the sun is going to be, it does frazzle your brain, and it's very easy if you're living in a sunshine climate and to really not get that involved with culture. It almost seems like alien. It's more about, and after a while, actually, it's not good for your brain.
Mm.
And that's one of the reasons why I like it back here. People say, do I miss the sunshine? No, I don't. Do I find the winters tough here? They're not great, but they're not awful.
Mm.
But what I find like it's at least then you can have time to do other things. You can have time to read a book that you wouldn't have read probably if you were in Spain or in certainly in Egypt. Egypt was a cultural desert, even though it was fine if you were an Egyptologist. But I didn't find that very interesting. I mean, it was I should have done really, I suppose.
No, no. I mean, there's plenty of history for you on
Mm,
this island.
mm.
You're a very, very busy guy, but I still find that you always find the time to listen to other people and help other people. You've been incredibly helpful to me, and obviously we shot a film over here 2 years ago now, which is the whole reason why I came back here. And you're incredibly helpful to me. Me trying to raise money for the first time, had no idea what to do, and you've been a great
I
advisor.
remember that first meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was just like, I just want to
yes.
make a movie, you know.
Mhm.
But I was also, I'm a very emotional person as well, and I think this is why having someone to help mentor me, and particularly when you're trying to go into states meetings and stuff, and you're trying to present yourself, and you go, and you don't know how to navigate these things. So I'm very, very grateful for you on that side. But how would you sell Alderney to someone? Because this is where we are now. We're trying to figure out how do we look 25 years into the future for the island? Do we bring a new group of people to come and live here? So how with all of your experience in building golf resorts and
It was
selling things.
it's it's surprisingly simple formula. You've got to get people to take a good hard look at some of their preconceptions and change their mindset.
So what is
For
what do people
instance,
think
say,
of?
okay, if you take somebody coming in here, say, who's a go-getter, 35-year-old living in London, okay, and I don't know, yeah, good job, blah blah blah. Yeah, you've got to ask, you've got to put seeds in their minds that, okay, so you're going to be doing that for the rest of it. So how much time do you spend in the car taking your children to activities? Okay, you've got two children. You're driving around. So either you or your wife on Saturdays, you're nothing but a glorified thing. Here, you can do all those activities, and they're within 2 minutes. I mean, small things like that people haven't thought about. How much of your money is spent on insurance and worrying about crime? Okay, a lot. Is the
Mm.
answer to that. Okay, so how much, and people say like connectivity, oh god, it's so expensive to get here and blah blah blah. Yes, but how much are you spending driving around, going to your social groups, or your network? How much are you actually spending in fuel? And also there's retail. Here we got cute retail, but we don't want to have what I call a constant retail temptation. If you're in London, everyone's trying to get money off you at any door,
All the time.
and it's constant. So you spend money, like, probably 50% of it is unnecessary. Okay, here you don't have that. So yes, you've got to pay Aureni, but you've got to look at Aureni as a tax. Aureni is a tax
It's a
for living
paradise
on
tax.
this island. That's the